Morning everybody, High Mileage Rider here. And today we're going to be doing a test ride and first impressions of a 2024 Suzuki Vstrom 800DE. If this is a middleweight bike you're interested in, we'll see you at the dealership. Okay everybody, we're back. Suzuki test ride days at Riverside Yamaha Suzuki and Honda. So before we get on the bike and ride, let's get out the other camera and we'll give you some of the specs on the bike, and then we'll get on the road. This Vstrom 800DE has a 776cc parallel twin motor with a 270-degree crank. It puts out 83 horsepower at 8,500 RPMs and 57.5 foot-pounds of torque at 6,800 RPMs. It's a 6-speed transmission with a final chain drive, 230 kilos or 507 pounds, a seat height of 33.7 inches, 855 millimeters, 8.7 inches of ground clearance or 220 millimeters, and has a fuel tank of 20 liters or 5.3 gallons. The front brakes are dual 310 discs with 2 piston calipers. The rear brakes is a 240 single disc with 1 piston caliper. The front tire is a 90/90 21-inch tube tire. The rear tire is a 150 70R17 tube tire, and both front and rear suspension have 8.7 inches of travel. This bike has a 5-inch TFT with Sears. That's the Suzuki Intelligent Ride System. It has traction control, gravel traction control, the ability to switch off the rear ABS while still having the front on, has a quick shifter up and down, has low RPM assist, has 3 driving modes, A, B, and C, A being more sharp, B being basic, and C being a softer throttle control. There's an inverted front fork which is fully adjustable, and the rear shock is preload adjustable only. As you can see, this bike has a stacked LED headlight system along with LED turn signals front and rear. There is an adjustable front brake lever, ride-by-wire throttle, but unfortunately no cruise control. This bike comes with a 1-year unlimited kilometer warranty, but for the purposes of the test ride days they are offering a 3-year unlimited warranty for no extra price. Some of the options that you can purchase with this bike is a center stand. It does not come with a center stand. You could buy a low seat option, and you can also get a taller windshield for being on the highway. There are 3 models of this bike: the Adventure model, the regular DE, and then the RE version, which has a 19-inch front wheel and cast aluminum wheels. Okay, let's start this bike up. Beautiful TFT, easy to read in the daylight. We're not going to play with the different modes and stuff on this ride. We're going to just ride it in the mode it's in. We've adjusted the mirrors. Nice seat height. I can easily flat foot on this bike. It's about a 25 to 30 minute loop we're going to do. Seems to be a very comfortable saddle. I know we've just started the ride, but it's very cushy yet firm. Fits my butt perfectly. The pegs are in a really good position. I have very little knee bend, a little bit more than my Tenere. But very nice. Make sure the whole group is together.
So using the screen as it is set for the TFT, we have our RPMs on the left-hand side, traction control, ABS, gear indicator, speed, fuel, odometer, air temperature, and coolant temperature, how many volts. Bar position is very good. For me, it's just the perfect reach, slight bend in my elbows. Seems like a very nimble bike for city riding. Quite narrow. So one thing you'll notice as I look forward is the windshield is quite small. It is not adjustable, but there is an aftermarket taller windshield available from Suzuki. And of course, I'm sure as the years go by, the aftermarket will also have other windshields available. So at 100 kilometers an hour, there's actually very good wind protection from this smaller windshield. It does direct the wind to my upper chest and my helmet, but it is smooth air. I have no head bobbling or turbulence, which is wonderful. Actually, it's a nice compromise between getting enough wind that you're not hot and enough protection that it shouldn't hopefully fatigue you too much. Mirrors are very nice and stable. I have a good field of view through them. This TFT display, as I said, is absolutely beautiful. Of course, I have an LCD on my Super Tenere, so this is very easy to read in the sunlight. Provides me all the information that I need. In sixth gear at about 110 kilometers an hour, I'm 5,000 RPM. Yeah, the bar position, the bars are nice and wide. The hand guards are doing a wonderful job of keeping the wind off my hands. The seat is comfortable, the foot peg position is very comfortable. This is a very, very nice motorcycle. I guess I'm old school. I really do like having a key versus a key fob to start my motorcycle. As you can see from the bikes in front of me, I'm pretty sure that all the Suzukis now come with LED headlights and LED turn signals. This is my first time, I should say I've never owned a motorcycle with a 21-inch front wheel. And this is either my first or maybe my second time riding a motorcycle with a 21-inch front wheel. Some people told me just to be aware that it might be a little bit skittish at speed, but that is not the case. This bike feels solidly planted. It's quite a windy day today, which you may or may not be able to hear through the Senna. You can see the fellow in front of me with his safety vest leading the ride, it blowing around in the wind. Given the weight of this bike, it is solidly planted in the wind. We now have a side wind going from my left to right. And yeah, I'm not blowing around at all. It's nice and stable. I mean, there's lots of competition in the middleweight motorcycle category. You know, the Vstrom, obviously the 800 DE, and they also have an RE, which is the road version with cast wheels, and it also has a 19-inch front instead of a 21-inch front. The other thing is it has tubeless tires versus this, which has tube tires. You've got your Triumph Tiger 900s, your Norden, your Aprilia, your Tenere 700, your Desert X, your Transalp. There's quite a few. There's 8 or 9 really, really good bikes in the middleweight division. This 800 motor has really good pickup. Nice roll-on power in 6th gear. The fellow who rode this bike before me was about my size, 6 feet, 210 pounds, and he said it felt a little bit soft in the rear. So I did add preload to the rear, probably half as far as I could go, and it feels pretty good. The front's a little bit soft, but you can adjust it. I did not for this ride. This bike has had rave reviews. The people who have been able to take it off-road, apparently the suspension is wonderful. The ground clearance is good. Nice wide bars. Nice narrow bike pinched in between your knees. Unfortunately, we can't take it off-road today, but from the reviews that I've seen, it's a really good bike off-road for the money. And of course, the big changes, as I said earlier, for 2024 is you now get the LED turn signals, which are much more molded to the side of the bike for aesthetics. And of course, you get a few changes on your TFT and your electronics, and then you now have the switchable off rear ABS, and you can have the front ABS on. And of course, with the rear ABS off, you can skid out the back of the bike if you choose to. As I said, the front brake lever is adjustable. The way it is set now is actually good for me. The clutch has a beautiful pull. Nice and light. I like the engagement point. And this quick shifter is really nice. I keep forgetting it's there, so I keep pulling the clutch. And of course, it has an up-down quick shifter. Yeah, that's really nice. I think that's something I could really come to love if I could have it on my Super Tenere. It's one of those things where they say you don't think you need it until you try it. And then you say, oh wow, this would be really nice to have. Now, while this does obviously have a long enough saddle to have a passenger, and there are passenger pegs, the bike does look a little bit, to me, short in length for having a passenger. So I would envision that if I was to put my wife on the back of this bike, we might be a little bit more crammed together than we would be on my Super Tenere. But of course, people who are looking at this bike generally, not always, but generally are not looking to go two-up touring on it. I would think it would usually be a single rider and, of course, someone who is really looking to go off-road, where this motorcycle really does shine from what I've read. Oh, nice smooth clutch. And this bike has some cojones. Red line is 9,500 RPM. Really, really nice motor. I know that when I had my 2014 Vstrom 1000, it had an absolutely beautiful motor. Suzuki does an amazing job with the motor transmissions, fit and finish, and really the whole package in what you're getting for the money. And of course, you're also getting that Suzuki reliability. You know, the ability to buy your motorcycle and put hundreds of thousands of kilometers on it before you even consider having to do any work on the motorcycle other than your regular maintenance. I know with my 2014 Vstrom 1000, I put just over 100,000 kilometers on it in 3 years and had no issues. So I would think you'll have absolutely no issues with this 800DE. Most of my riding is on-road. However, I would like to learn to become more proficient off-road. Obviously, my Super Tenere is not the best bike for that. One, given the weight and size of the bike. So something like this would be a really good choice for me. Even with the 21-inch front wheel, I find this is beautiful on the highway. I only wish I would be able to ride it off-road. Yeah, this motorcycle has really, really nice manners in town. Even better manners on the highway. Man, I love this quick shifter. So let's see, we've talked about the seat, we've talked about the knee bend, the foot peg position, the nice wide bars, the reach to the bars being perfect for me, and of course you could roll them forward, backward, or you could choose to put on a bar riser should you want it. This bike leans over beautifully. We talked about wind protection from this smaller screen, but of course there is a taller screen available from Suzuki, and I'm sure there's an aftermarket who has that as well. Wonderful mirrors, great visibility, a great TFT display, very easy to read in the sunlight. Again, we're not playing with the different configurations of it or the different modes and stuff on this test ride because we're just focusing on the ride. But it looks just as it was left from the last rider. It provides me with all the information that I would need. LED lighting all around, adjustable front suspension, preload adjustable on the rear, good size fuel tank, which is what you're looking for if you were to do some touring on this bike and this bike was to do double duty for you. Oh, this turns so nicely. Nice engine braking from the motor as you roll off the throttle. Nice clean air coming over that windshield, so no head buffeting at highway speeds. Good reach to the ground. Again, I'm 6 feet tall, 210, 212 pounds. I've got a 34-inch inseam, and I can easily flat-foot this bike. Yeah, this is a really, really nice motorcycle. Now, as nice as it is, there are still some cons with this bike. So for the pros, I would definitely say wind protection, the TFT display is wonderful, ergonomic comfort is great, and this motor is a gem. It is so smooth, it has such good grunt for a middleweight bike. Comparing it to my buddy's Triumph Tiger 900, I think this is actually smoother, personally, my personal opinion. Some of the cons of this motorcycle is it does not come standard with a center stand, which I think is a big miss. Makes it much more difficult to do your chain maintenance without a center stand. Now, of course, it is available as an extra. I think it's about $200 on the Suzuki accessory website. The other big miss for this bike is it does not come with cruise control. I believe almost all the other bikes, other than potentially the Tenere 700, but all those other bikes in the middleweight division come with cruise control. So, I mean, it already has ride-by-wire throttle, so it wouldn't have been a big deal or a big cost to put cruise control on this motorcycle. So, Suzuki, in your next iteration of this bike, make sure you smarten up and put some cruise control on this bike. I'm pretty sure that everybody would like to have it. It's not the cheapest motorcycle in the middleweight range, but it's also not the most expensive. So only you will be able to decide if it is good value for the money. But if you're looking for a middleweight motorcycle, I would definitely encourage you to ride this motorcycle. It's a very nice riding motorcycle. And again, of course, you get that Suzuki reliability. Bike comes with a 1-year unlimited kilometer warranty, but of course you can buy extended warranty if you so wish. It's punch buggy white. So as I said, this is a really nice motorcycle. If you're looking for a middleweight motorcycle in the adventure category, do yourself a favor, consider riding this motorcycle. If you found this video helpful or enjoyable, please consider hitting the thumbs up button, consider subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. YouTube will let you know when we come out with new videos. We're hoping to do a couple more test rides this year, weather permitting. And until the next video, make sure you ride safe and keep that rubber side down and the right hand cranked.